Hey guys. So today I wanted to go over my Steam Deck and go ahead and review it since I've had it for about a year and a half now and basically answer questions about, what is it like, my experiences, do I regret buying it, or as well as would I buy it again if I were to start out with what I know today? Long story short, yes, I would. I think it's definitely still worth the purchase here in 2026. But as a long term owner, I did make a couple of mistakes along the way. So I'll be going over that as well as just my general experiences as well. Just to start out, this is a 512 gigabyte OLED. So I really like the OLED version because it has a much more clear case because the higher version, the more expensive one, has the anti-glare, which I feel like makes it a little bit blurry, so I kind of like this because it makes the color pop a lot more. Also, I've never had an issue with storing too much inside this because I think 500 is going to be fine for most games and for most of the purposes that I use it for, so I've personally never had a problem. First thing that I really like is that it basically has unlimited free games. How do I say, like ARG, like Sail the Seven Seas, then I feel like there is literally no end to the number of games that you can play on here. So you can really, really get deep into any game and spend like 50 plus hours, 100 plus hours on it. And there are thousands and thousands of them. So the possibility is literally just limitless. You'll basically never be needing to buy a video game ever again. So the only thing that'll be limiting you is probably your time. Now, of course, I still do pay for some games if I feel like they're really good and I want to go ahead and support the developers, or if there's like a Steam sale and the games are like $5 or something super cheap like that, then of course I will go ahead and buy them. But the thing is that I have the option and I don't have to buy anything. It's basically once you have this machine, you can just assume that you'll never need to pay for anything unless you want to, I guess, ever again. Another aspect that I found was really, really nice for me personally is that I'm also able to prop up my Steam Deck like on a treadmill using some kind of like laptop stand. I'll go ahead and like show the visuals on screen. I am able to use that and connect with my Xbox controller, which means that I can basically game like this while I'm walking. And I feel like it's really nice because I get so into the game that sometimes I would walk like 8 kilometers or like 5 miles, like just straight. And I don't even notice that I'm walking. So I feel like it's super good for my health. Maybe too good for my health because I feel like the next day I'm like, oh my God, my legs are so sore, even though I wasn't even thinking about it at all. So, like, the process itself was a lot of fun because I'm just literally playing a game. Although I feel like over the years, I have realized that it's actually a lot more fun, or it's just like a better experience if the monitor is like very big. So, I actually like having a much bigger, like, I have like a laptop that I use to play all my games because usually when I'm sitting down at home, then it's just a better experience. But I feel like when you don't have that option and you want to, let's say, get on the plane or go on a train, or for me personally, like I never like to be late to things. So sometimes I show up like comically early to something, but I don't want to make the other person feel like bad. So, like, let's say if there's like a dinner meeting with my friend at like 6 p.m., then sometimes because I don't want to be late, then I would show up at like 5:30 or even 5. But I think it's pretty rude to show up like early for something and then you're just like, hey, like I'm here, because sometimes when the people are like setting something up, then they already have their hands full trying to make sure that everything is good, everything is ready to go. So then you being another guest is kind of like a burden. So so then to avoid being like an emotional burden of like another thing that they need to keep an active taking care of, I usually like just stay in my car or maybe like stay in a Starbucks nearby and I just like don't tell them. But yeah, usually then if I have like another 30 minutes or sometimes an hour before like meeting for like an important like party or hanging out, then it's like perfect. Then I bring the Steam Deck and then I just play along with it, and it's super, super fun. So even though if you have an option to play at home with a large monitor, of course, I think that actually is like better if you're looking for a home setup. But I do think that there truly is like no equal when you're going outside, because it's just like so fun to just like hold it and just like play around with it, you know? Now for the protective case, I do have the D brand protective case. I think that's kind of like the better one. I did have the cheaper one before, I think it's called like the J Socks protective case from like Amazon, which is like cheaper. So I opted to go with that one first, but then the back hinges here, they actually just like broke. So then basically it just didn't work. But I mean, it lasted like a good maybe 2 3 months, but I still think that, yeah, like after that I was like, okay, like I don't think I can buy the cheap one. I'll just get the nice D brand. And yeah, and it has lasted me basically for the rest of 9 plus like 12 months after that. So yeah, would highly recommend this. It has held up like a tank. I also got a screen protector because the screen itself is like touchscreen, and it's held up remarkably well, even though that one was also just a cheap little thing from Amazon. So it might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but I mean, overall, it looks basically the same as when I first bought it. It looks super clean and nice. The protective case has definitely done its job. It's also basically a computer, and it can go on desktop mode, which means that anything you can do on a computer, then you can also go ahead and play or watch or do on the Steam Deck, which is also really awesome. Also, I know that some people talk about the fan and the heat for the previous models. I mean, after a year and a half, it still has no problem with the fan. Of course, like you can hear it like gently when you're playing like a heavy game, and you can kind of like feel the heat here at the top here when you put your hand on it. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's literally not a big deal at all. And after 1.5 years of use, the battery still is going strong. It's still lasting about 7 hours for a light game and about 1 hour for a heavy game. So heavy games are like Baldur's Gate 3 or something like Expedition 33. That would be like a heavy game. Usually I just play like light games because, like Balatro, for example, like I play that, or Stardew Valley, just something very chill. Someday, yeah, you'll blow us all away. And for the VPN, just for if you want to watch something, but maybe there are some restrictions around it, then I went ahead and used Proton VPN, this one right here. And yeah, it's completely free. So just for streaming purposes, it's perfect. But of course, if you are, let's say, sailing the high seas and you are downloading things, then you might want to actually pay for like an actual paid service, because there are cases where if you do use a free service, then your data can still get leaked. And then afterwards, your internet service provider might give you an angry email basically saying, hey, we know that you're sailing the seven seas, and if you just keep doing that, then we're going to shut down your internet. So that has happened to my landlord. So yeah, you definitely want to go ahead and use a paid VPN. The one that I personally use is CyberGhost VPN, which is super, super nice. It's like $3 per month or something like that. And you can use that to basically download a lot of the video games or movies or other things that you want. The biggest thing that I really like about the Steam Deck is that there is a lot of freedom for customization, because it is literally just a desktop, which means you can go ahead and download a lot of Windows apps that you can send through the Proton filter on Steam. And you can go ahead and run Windows apps or whatever you need, and you can kind of tweak it around to however you want and get all the free content that you want. So basically, once you buy this one machine, then you will not need to worry about it ever again. And everything is being continuously updated and will foreseeably continue to do so, because Valve has a very customer centric ideology. So I feel like you're not only buying this for the device, which you are. Of course, I feel like it's more than worth the money, even for the device, to be honest. But you're also buying it for the company that it's under because, unlike other companies that I know, which purposely antagonize their customers sometimes or make it actively bad just so you have to like upgrade or buy DLCs or all these other things. I feel like Valve is one of the few companies that I've experienced that actually try to take care of their customers. Probably not even for like a moral sense, but because it just kind of makes sense to do so. I feel like it makes sense to take care of the people who are paying money for your products. I'm honestly not sure why other companies actually don't follow that, but yeah. So yeah, would I buy this again in the big 2.6? And the answer is yes. For a customizable retro device on the go, for me personally, I feel like there really truly is no equal. It just works. I think it's definitely for good reason that you hear a lot of people say, just get a Steam Deck. And I was definitely on the fence before, but yeah, I've had it for 18 months now. And yeah, I can say it's amazing. It's great. And I love it when I go outside and play with it. So it's my favorite handheld because it is basically every game that I want it to be, including games on the Nintendo Switch and everything from before, such as like PSP or Game Boy Advance. So it's like a retro king as well. Of course, if you want like the highest graphic games, then this is definitely not going to be running that for you. Like, for example, if I'm running Baldur's Gate 3, then I'm probably going to need to keep it plugged in the whole time. But if you're playing just like any chill game, and there are tons and tons, and there are mountains of awesome games, you'll never be needing for anything else. And just with a little bit of research of just typing of like how to get this game on it, then you should be able to run it and have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's the review for this random dude with a Steam Deck that has had it for a year and a half. It's been great, and I definitely would buy it even today. I think it's a great purchase because it truly is just if you buy one, then you get everything. Unlike, like maybe if you buy like a Switch or some other Nintendo device, then you'll need to buy it, but then now you're completely at the mercy of their pricing model. And even if maybe you don't think that the latest Pokemon game is fair because it has like $60 price tag with the $40 DLC, like at open for like Pikachu evolutions, which I feel like was kind of insane that you would like paywall like such an iconic character evolution for like $40. But I mean, I think it makes sense because people are going to pay for it because you don't have a choice. You don't have any freedom. But if you get the Steam Deck, then basically you can basically get any game you want on it, which is awesome, and you're not beholden to a company that actively hates you for some reason. I hope you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment if you have any questions about the Steam Deck or anything else. I'll definitely go ahead and answer. Leave a like and comment if I fulfilled your confirmation bias that you were looking for, and subscribe if you want to get more videos from me. And also I have a Patreon if you want to give me money, totally up to you. And I will go ahead and see you in the next video. See ya.